G'day guys, welcome back. As you can see, I have a new setup behind me. This will probably be my more permanent one for sure, but we are going to be looking at today the Porsche 911 GT1. Now this is a model probably going back probably about 30 to 35 years ago since I last did this one. It was the very first model that I actually did before I started getting into every sort of like motorbikes after that, Formula One. So this was the very, very first one. And gee, going back 30 to 35 years ago, I think all I had was probably paintbrushes, and I didn't have any airbrush or anything like that. So you could imagine what this one would have came up like without airbrushing this guy and yeah, just doing everything by paintbrush. So yeah, very I only had a couple of paintbrushes, couple of paints, and one model, which was this one. Now, about 35 years later, I've got several models which you can see behind me. And by the way, if you're interested in these models that are behind me and you would like to see a review on one of these guys, I mean, all these models behind me are not completed. I haven't done them yet. So, and it's about, maybe, I've got some down the bottom here, probably about 40 in here at the moment. I mean, is that what we do, us modelers? Do we just keep on buying and buying and buying more models? Who knows? But anyway, yeah, I did this one about 30 to 35 years ago. I liked it that much. I even brought this in a RC radio control petrol, remote control. So that's what I did there with this one. But I'm going to do my research on this one. But let's have a look more closely what's inside the box. And I'm going to do this one very basic. There's going to be no upgrades on this, no photo edging on this whatsoever. So this one's going to just be very basic, just so as I can get back into the car scene and get familiar with the car stuff. I mean, it should be pretty simple because Formula One's pretty much the same thing as what you're doing with these things. But this is a Tamiya 124 scale. So yeah, let's have a look inside the box, see what you get. And I paid about $75 for this one. So yeah, let's have a look inside the box. And just before we do start to dive into this box too, I'm going to be going through this stage by stage, showing what stages this is going to be at after I sort of like do step 1, step 2. I'll show you step 1, step 2, step 3, so on. My method of putting this car together, what I do first, just to show you guys. But if you want more information on this guy, of how I'm actually doing it, then yeah, just leave a comment down below. I'd like to see you do this or do that, instead of showing you the complete stage as I'm going with it. But yeah, like I said, if you want to see a bit more, please leave a comment down below. Okay, guys, this is our first bit here. This is obviously our body. Comes in 2 parts. This is probably what I'm going to be starting on as my very first thing, getting this in to any imperfections on the body that I need to get rid of. I will be doing the scarring as well to highlight the panels a lot more, the door trims that I'll be highlighting a little bit more better. So yeah, just to get a more in-depth look about it. And we've also got our, in here as well, our transfer. Looks like it's going to be for our wheels, our tyres. So there's that bit there. Then nothing basic. We've pretty much got our tyres right there. So that's all 4 tyres going by the look of this. Our rear tyres are thicker than our fronts. So that's that there. Now we've got our stickers for our windscreen and side windows there as well as sort of like our indicators, headlights in that one as well. Then what we have here is our sprues for our tyres, our rims, our other bits and pieces, which is going to be our exhaust in here, our light fittings there. Turn over here, then we've got our front there for the vehicle, and it's all like, and this is one of the things I've got to research on too. The front splinter here is I'm not too sure if that's black or maybe I'm going to carbon fibre that bit, but I'll have to do my research to see if this was already carbon fibre. 90% of the time I'm probably going to carbon fibre this, so it's probably going to be carbon fibre. Now, what else we got? We've got our floor as well, our side doors. Oops, probably can't see that. Our side doors here, and we've got our disc brakes, our interior steering wheel, interior there, dash, steering wheel. We've got our gearbox there, and our engine there. So this one does come with an engine, which is quite good because sort of like I do like doing models, particularly car models that do have engines in them. Now, this is our decals, which I'll open that up. One thing I don't like about models is the staples in them. I don't like them. I'd rather them sealed rather than stapled, just so as they don't scratch, particularly your windscreen in the box and stuff like that. So, being this one's such an old model anyway, so there we go. There's our decals, and it looks fantastic. Our decals there. So there's that as well. I'll shift that to the side. Our instruction. Oh, then you got, obviously, of course, you got your list of where you got to put your decals, tips and hints and stuff like that on what you'd need to build this model. And we've got our instruction manual. I might just pop that up a little bit so we can get a good look at our instruction manual. So that's our instruction manual there. Pretty basically simple, really. Hopefully we can get that in there so you guys can have a look, a bit of it, and probably not too much of a just sort of like the general stuff of it, but that's what we've got, and also it's going to tell you a bit more history about this vehicle as well. But I'll be doing quite a bit more deep review on it. Not a review, checking out what I need to get this done. Yeah. So yeah. So there we go, guys. That's our in-depth look of the 911 GT1 Porsche. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get started on this straight away, right now. So, like I said, I'm going to start on the body itself first. So what I'm going to do is, like I said before, is to prepare it any in-depth stuff that needs to come out, lines, panel lines, or anything like that needs to come out from the manufacturer. I'll get rid of that. Any putting needs to be done. Putting needs to be done. I use this is Mr. Surfacer 500 that I do use. So that's the one I do use there for any fillings I've got to do from sanding or sort of when I'm joining parts that I need to fill it up. Then what I'm going to do is prepare it with Mr. Surfacer 1000. So I'm going to prime it in the primer with 1000. Then what I'm going to do is go over and wet and dry sandpaper. So make sure once this is set, I go over the wet and dry sandpaper and make sure I've got all smooth. So that way when I put my first coat of white on, it's not going to have a ripple effect in it for when I put the gloss on and stuff like that. So very particular about that. The white that I am going to use, I'm not going to use an X1, which already has the gloss in it. I'm going to use probably XF2, XS1, sorry, because it doesn't have the gloss in it. I like to spray my own gloss on it. So once I put the colour on, then I'm going to put a one coat of a clear coat. Then I'm going to put the details on, or the decals. Then what I'm going to do is, once all that's dry, is hit the whole body shape again with with two clear coats. Give them sort of like an hour rest in between each coat. Then I'm probably going to let it rest for a couple of days, and then we're going to go through a polish with wet and dry and really bring out that gloss shine look. So that's what I'm going to do. What I do use for the decals is I use Mr. Mark's setting. So I do use that one. And then I use for the softener, Mr. Mark softener. I like these two better, as the Tamiya ones I don't really like to use because you got to find a paintbrush, and it's ends up being a bit messy. Whereas these you can put them straight back in the jar and you're all good. So, and as for like I was saying with the front splinter, I think it probably would look a bit more better if I do probably carbon fibre it. So yeah, just to make it pop a bit more. But that's the first stage I'm going to do. So let's get started in this build.